If you consider putting a child to bed and taking her to school, raising her, then okay.
Is she choosing her boyfriend?
You go live with him and leave your daughter there.
Over her daughter?
She needs to be a mother.
How am I stopping her from being a mother?
I give my child a bath, feed her sometimes.
In whose home?
If I did have my own home, I would be doing
But
that myself.
you don't. Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
I'll try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. How you doing? Susie was living the American dream as a stay-at-home mom in a beautiful home with a big pool in a nice neighborhood with her successful husband. So why on earth would she have bruises all over her body and her husband Ray be getting into street fights? They say it's all because of daughter Adriana and her bad boyfriend Matt. Now, Mom Susie says ever since Adriana hooked up with Matt, she's been a drive-by mom to her little girl, leaving Susie and Ray to raise her. And she's in shock that her daughter would rather be with her riff-raff boyfriend than her precious child. Take a look.
My daughter has become violent, abusive, and neglectful. For the first 13 years, she was a model child. She was in sports, she had a lot of friends, very social kid. At 14, she started hanging out with a different group of friends. She started smoking pot. Then she got pregnant at 15. We were shocked. I did not want Adriana to have the baby. How can a 16-year-old take care of a baby? First 2 years of the baby's life, Adriana was a pretty good mom. She broke up with the biological father and eventually started dating this new guy, Matt. I don't care for Matt one bit. The first time I met him, he was high on drugs. I believe Matt is a bad influence and a non-motivator. Matt was around the first few times Adriana tried heroin. Adriana's now 20. She has chosen to live in Matt's parents' house. So right now, she's not a good mother. My husband and I are basically raising the child at this point. I want to be Nana. I want to be Papa. I don't want to be Mom and Dad. Every interaction I have with Adriana is explosive. I have to walk around on eggshells. If I say the wrong thing, it'll just set her off. Mouthy and rude. I mean, rude. In the last year, we have had 3 physical confrontations. She has hit me, scratched me. She's left bruises. She's very mentally abusive. I would like Adriana to stop being abusive to me. Start being appreciative. Look around you. If it hadn't been for us, you would have been on the street. We never expected Adriana to end up with the riffraff that she's chosen on the other side of the tracks.
Well, Adriana says she refuses to allow her mother Susie to pressure her into choosing her daughter over her boyfriend Matt.
I have chosen Matt over my daughter because my mom is always in the way.
How are you?
I take issue with how my mother is parenting my child. I believe that my mother's too lenient. She calls me a horrible mother, and I've called her an idiot, you're being stupid. It's gotten to the point where I actually have punched my mother. In the moment, she deserves it. I feel like I'm trying, and my mom doesn't see it. I'm picking her up from school. I'm trying to have her all day long. I'm trying, and that's all that matters. I did resent being a teenage mom. Being stuck inside with my daughter and being home alone all the time, I realized how depressed and unhappy I got. My parents treated Matt very unfairly. They have judged Matt based on not only his tattoos and his piercings, but his background with probation and his addiction. Matt was not responsible at all for getting me on heroin. I chose to do those things myself. Matt wants to be a father figure to my child. My parents better learn to like Matt because he's here for the long run.
You just don't think that you should be pressured into choosing your daughter over your boyfriend?
I feel that it's not fair that I have to make that decision to choose my family over the one I want to spend the rest of my life with.
You can't have your daughter where you're living with Matt all the time because there's just not room?
There's
or
6
what's
people who live there. There's 3 dogs. There's 3 bedrooms, and there's nowhere. There's not an extra room. There's not an extra bed, and the only other place is a cot or the floor.
So you leave her with them, but then you don't really like the way she parents.
I do not like the things, how she tells me to parent. I feel like she's breathing down my neck constantly.
Well, she says you are vulgar and rude and actually become violent and attack her.
No, when she's attacking me with her harsh words, you're a horrible mother, you're a bitch, you're a whatever, I'm not going to sit there and I'm not going to take that. Of course I'm going to say something back to her.
But she is raising your daughter.
Yes, she is.
Are you grateful for that?
I am very grateful
Do
for
you
that.
tell her that?
I have.
Because I looked at some of the text messages that you sent to your mother just within the last few weeks. Mom, I was wondering if I could borrow $15. Matt is buying me a birthday gift at the mall, and he only has $75, and I believe the thing is $85 plus tax. Please, I would really appreciate it. It's for my birthday. Please. And then you then say, is that a yes or a no? So Susie says, well, the question then is why buy something he can't afford when you have no job? You two need to start getting a dose of reality. You're so smart, but I'm so angry that you don't think more of yourself and see that down the road you can own a house, you can have a good life. I'm so tired of you making yourself out to be like you're going to be alone the rest of your life. You won't be if you give your life a chance. You respond, wow, really? Are you blanking kidding me? It's not for him for the last blanking time. What don't you get? It's for me. I need $10 freaking dollars. Why can't I borrow it? Are you blanking kidding me? $10. It's for me to buy something at the mall. I really would like it for my birthday. Susie, use your own money. Don't ask me again. I'm out and won't be home till 8:30. Wow, you're a blanking joke. It's for my blanking damn birthday and you can't even loan me $10 freaking dollars. Wow. See, when you ask me for something next, I won't do blank.
When I ask my mom for things, it's always like she changes like my question around, and it's always about Matt.
Well, not always. You provided us another text message. Adriana, you need to call me as soon as possible. Adriana, hello? Adriana, you don't want to answer the phone, you blanking dumb blank. It's okay, I'm coming over right now. I'm just going to break every blanking window in your blanking house. Goodbye, you stupid blank. You will be seeing me real shortly. Susie, stop doing this. What's wrong with you? Adriana, are you blanking stupid? I didn't say I wasn't having her tomorrow, you blanking.
Excuse me, but
I
where
said
are the
I have
text
an
messages
appointment
from her?
in the morning, that is it. Then I could have her forever long after. I will be at your door in 2 minutes and you better take her, and if you don't answer, I'll be breaking your front windows. You think I give a blank what you do? No. You better blanking answer your door. I'm blanking sick and tired of you. She wants to go to bed. Answer your blanking door.
Yeah,
This is your child.
you're right.
This is your responsibility. And you're talking to the woman that is raising your child. And you're calling her a dumb whore and open the door. I'm going to break the windows of your house.
If you consider putting a child to bed and taking her to school, raising her, then okay.
But she doesn't have to do even that.
Absolutely right, she doesn't.
Well, she did respond. She said, "Wow, do you realize what a true bully you are? I have been helping you with your daughter for 4 years now, and you give absolutely nothing but blank to me."
You guys are only seeing the text messages.
Unreal if it hadn't been for us.
She's being nice. She sends me text messages of how I'm a stupid bitch, I'm a dumb, I'm such a whore, I'm such all of these things.
We ask you time and time again to give us those text messages.
I don't have the text messages. If I don't have that phone anymore, I'm not going to be able to
But you're saying we're only showing these. We ask you for those, and you didn't
So
provide
am
them.
I supposed to call the phone company and say, hey,
Don't criticize me for not showing what you didn't give me.
you're right, I'm not criticizing you. I'm saying I can't get messages from months ago.
Okay, what'd you want to say?
I'm tired. I need her to step back up to being a mom. I mean, she disappeared. And you want us to take on that role when you said this
You
is,
teach people how to treat you.
Yeah.
All right, up next, we're going to meet Adriana's stepdad, Ray, who talks about the day he met boyfriend Matt for the first time. Well, let's just say that didn't go well. We'll be right back.
I believe Matt is a loser. He has no ambition. The first time I met Matt, we had a confrontation. I punched him in the face.
And later,
What you need to do is give her a chance to be a mother.
That is her choice. I've never stopped her from that, not once ever.
Okay, but she was never abusive before she started a relationship with
I'm
you.
sorry.
When Adriana gets violent, it's like another person. Her strength is amazing. The last confrontation we had, I was afraid of her. And she's only soaking wet, about 100 pounds. I'm angry. She was told at 16 she was going to be the mother. I would never put my children off on somebody else. And she just thinks that it's normal.
Susie says she is at the end of her rope trying to raise her granddaughter without her daughter, Adriana's help. Now, Susie's husband, Ray, blames Adriana's boyfriend, Matt, for making Adriana choose him over her little girl.
I came in Adriana's life when she was 6 years old. We've raised Adriana in a loving, caring home. When she met Matt, she stopped taking responsibility as a mother. My wife Susie and I are raising our granddaughter. I believe Matt is a loser. He has no ambition. People with zero ambition, I don't like. They want to sit around and sponge off of their parents all the time. The first time I met Matt, we had a confrontation. I look over and I see Matt in the car. Matt's just sitting there kind of laughing and giggling. And I'm just looking at this guy just thinking, here is the guy that's solely responsible for swinging her over to this dark place. So I run over there and I punch him in the face while he's sitting in the car. So he gets out of the car and he says, "Oh, you want some of me?" And he literally looks and acts like a child. He's 6'2", tattoos all over. I almost started laughing. His pants were falling off. He just had an appearance of a 15-year-old. You can't reason with a 15-year-old. I think Adriana's situation right now is very volatile and has to change. Everything with her is a drama on the scale of 10. The only thing I can see Adriana coming out of this is getting away from Matt.
I think it's a little ironic that you described him as acting like a child, but you ran over to the car and punched him through the window. Not the best way to engage in a conversation.
Yeah, no, it wasn't.
It's your understanding he got her started on heroin.
Yes.
No,
No,
that's not right.
But nonetheless, you got involved in heroin.
Yes.
And you, at this point, is your relationship with Matt serious?
Yes, I've been together with Matt for 2 years, and I love Matt. I would like to see myself together with him forever.
Do you think he loves you?
Yes, I feel like he does.
And your point is, if he had a value system, if he cared about her at all, he wouldn't be coming between her and her daughter.
Yes, exactly. He says, "Give me a chance." A chance. He needs to give Adriana a chance to be a mother. She needs to put her daughter to bed at night and feed her and wake up in the morning and see her mom. You know what your child did the other night? She comes into my office, grabs a picture of you out of my office, takes it to her bed. Puts it on there. and says, I want to see my mom in the morning at night.
I wish I could have my daughter at nighttime. I do.
If Matt cared about you so much, he would let you be a mother to your child, and he would try to embrace that a little more. If he had any family values at all, he must have family values. He's, 22, 24, still living at home with his mom, hasn't had a job, so there's
He's
some
not
family
24,
there.
He's 22.
22.
One 22-year-old
Okay.
isn't still living at home or going to school or doing stuff. I'm pretty sure most 22-year-olds, unless you're out of college or doing whatever
Well, you
great
know-
on your own, good for you. You may have a job and doing great. But a lot of 22-year-olds who aren't doing great and don't have jobs I'm pretty sure they're still at home with their parents. And I am trying. I am trying.
You say you're trying. You have a choice, a clear choice in front of you.
You're right, I have
and
a
you
choice.
have a beautiful home where your
Where I'm not
daughter
going to
is.
have confrontation in front of
No,
my child.
Wait a minute.
That is wrong. And any
But you do
parent
it all the
who has
time.
confrontation in front of their child, good for you, but that's wrong.
You do
Okay,
it all
wait a
the
minute.
time.
So you're just not going to do something that's wrong for your daughter.
I'm not going to have confrontation in front of my child.
Okay, so
That's
you
wrong.
think that it's better for you to just leave your daughter to be raised by other people and go live
No.
with your boyfriend and leave your
I have
daughter
my child
there?
every single day. The only time I don't have my child is when she goes to bed at night.
Why is it their responsibility to raise your daughter?
It's not their responsibility. It's mine.
Then why do you have the expectation for them to do it? You expect for them to do it and then give
I
them
don't expect
absolutely
anything.
unshirted hell for the way they're doing
I
it.
don't expect anything.
Open the door or I'm going to throw rocks through your windows, you dumb whore. That was the message. That's not an expectation?
Oops.
How is that not an expectation?
Because it's
Open
not.
the door, I'm going to break your windows out if you don't open the door.
I'm not going to stand at somebody's front door pounding on the door when my child has to go to bed. And she's inside, not going to answer the door.
So that's an expectation for her to perform. You have an entitled expectation that she is going to open that door, take your child in, put her to bed, and be responsible for her through the night.
No, I'm sorry, but she doesn't always put my child to bed. I come there too, and I put my child to bed as well. I come there to her home, and I give my child a bath and feed her sometimes and put her to bed.
In whose home?
Her home. Yes, okay, it's her home. But I don't have my own home. So if I did have my own home, of course I would be doing that
But
myself.
you don't.
I don't.
What makes
You're
you
right.
think she and Ray are required to provide
They
that
aren't.
for you?
Okay. But
No,
I'm
not okay. You have an entitled attitude that says, you're going to do what I want you to do, and if you don't, I'm going to make your life so hell, you are going to cave in and do it, and I'm holding my daughter hostage because you know as well as I do that if you don't, she winds up on the street or in foster care, and that's on you, bitch. That's exactly what your attitude is. Well, coming up, Adriana's boyfriend, Matt, is here. The young man who Susie says is the cause of all this chaos. We'll meet him next.
I believe her parents think I'm a bad influence. I don't think I am. I've stopped stealing. I've gotten clean. I plan on staying with Adriana, and hopefully Ray and Susie can jump on board and go along with it.
Susie is heartsick and frustrated with her daughter, Adriana, for choosing her boyfriend, Matt, over her 4-year-old child. Adriana says her mom has never given her boyfriend a chance. Matt says Susie labeled him a dirtbag the day she met him, but he says he is a changed man.
I love Adriana to death, and I believe she loves me just as much as I love her. Adriana's daughter, she's a great kid, and I treat her like my own child. We are living right here in my parents' house. There are 7 people living in this house, including 3 dogs and Adriana's daughter. It's only a 3-bedroom house. It gets very crowded.
This is where me and my daughter sleep when we come over to Matt's house. She stays at her Nana's Monday through Friday, and only on weekends she may spend the night.
I believe her parents think I'm a bad influence. I don't think I am. Susie and Ray basically didn't like me because of my criminal past, and then they found out about the heroin, and that even pushed it even farther. But I've tried to improve myself. I've stopped stealing. I've gotten clean. Adriana kind of exhibits anger towards me when we get in fights about things, but it's not really as severe as it is with her mom. I plan on staying with Adriana, and hopefully Ray and Susie can jump on board and go along with it.
All right, Matt, I appreciate you being here. You think you're not getting a fair shake.
Yeah, I don't think I'm getting a fair shake at all.
Why not?
Because since the beginning, they never even tried to talk to me at all. It just was bad from the very beginning, all because of my past and my drug use.
Right. Do you have a job?
No, I don't.
Why not?
Just because my tattoos, my felonies, it's real hard. I looked a couple of places, but no one really wants to hire someone like me.
You said you've looked a couple of places. What else do you have to do but look for a job?
I guess nothing really.
My belief is this. I think the two of you seem to have a different attitude than it takes to overcome the obstacles that are in front of you. And I'm not judging your past. I think everybody can hit the reset button. Everybody gets a second chance. Everybody gets to start over. I get that. But you got obstacles in front of you. For example, my attitude is if you don't have a job, then your job is finding a job. And if you had a job, you'd work 50 hours a week probably, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if you don't have a job, you ought to work at least as hard looking for a job as you would work as if you had a job. Which means if you would work 50 hours a week on the job, then you ought to work at least 50 hours a week looking for a job. I mean, how long has it been since you've had a job?
Well, about a year now, 2 years about.
Okay, so 2 years.
Yeah. Well, because the entire past 2 years, I've been trying to bust my ass, like with my probation, trying to get off probation. I've been on probation since I was 18 for the past 4 years, and so it was really hard for me to get the job at first. And I understand that I wasn't doing enough, and I could have done more. But that was really a really big reason for
people
me not
work
getting
that
the
out
job.
all the time, and they're saying, here you are, you don't have a job, you're living at home, and now you got her living with you at home. What do you think about her leaving her daughter behind to come live with you?
Well, I've never liked the fact that she wasn't with her daughter. I mean, like, I always wanted her to be with her daughter. I would love for her to live with me as well, but it's my parents' house, it's not my house, and I mean, even in the beginning, she shouldn't have even been living with me either, but I kind of just like...
Have you ever thought about saying, hey, listen, I really love you, and I want to support your role as a mother, and your place is to be with your daughter, and you need to be over there with her, and I'll see you when I'll see you when I can, but you need to be with your daughter?
Yeah, I've said that plenty of times, and I've told her, you need to move back home with your family. You need to be with your daughter. And she's tried a couple different times, but they keep telling her, no, you can't come back into the house.
And there's reason for that.
The reason is because she comes home, wakes up at midnight, 1, not sure, and leaves. And then we get up in the morning getting ready to go do our thing, and Adriana's gone.
That's not true.
Yes, it is true.
Matt, it's not that we didn't like you from the start. What happened from the start is what we didn't like. As soon as she met you, her daughter is over here. What you need to do is give her a chance to be a mother. You need to give her a chance to be...
I never stopped her. I've never... how am I stopping her from being a mother? I never stopped her from
leaving
being
in
a
the
mother.
middle of the night.
I have always told her to be with your daughter. Always. I told her she needs to be with her daughter and not be with me.
She was never abusive.
But that's not my choice. That is her choice. I've never stopped her from that. Not once ever.
Okay, but she was never abusive before she started a relationship with
I'm
you.
sorry.
Hell no.
Swinging at
That
my
is
boyfriend.
You guys have been fighting way
You're
before I've
absolutely
been
right.
in this
I'm going to
picture.
get in the way. When you're
Never
coming,
physically violent, Matt.
really?
Never
When you
physically
come out
violent.
to the car,
No way.
I'm pretty sure
yelling,
when you come at
screaming,
me, screaming at me up in my face,
Of
she's
course
going
I'm
to
gonna
protect
get
me
heated.
because I'm not going to
Of
touch
course.
her.
But I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is my daughter's behavior was never
yes,
erratic
you're
like this
absolutely
before
right.
she
I
met
got
him.
so mad, and I've
Before
been
she met you.
continuing to get madder and madder because you get so mad and heated, running out yelling for no reason at hand when we're talking, having conversation.
Coming up, Matt's mom wants to tell Susie that she is not the only mother who is burdened with taking in someone else's child. We're going to meet her after the break.
Matt has no motivation. He doesn't have any drive. I think he gets off on the fact that my daughter is so violent and abusive towards me. She was never like this before. I believe Matt's behind the scenes egging it on.
Susie and Ray love their 4-year-old granddaughter, but don't feel that it's their job to raise her. And let me tell you, there are 2.7 million grandparents in America today raising their grandchildren as primary caregivers. Now, that's about 10% of the children in America are being raised by grandparents. And when you dig in and look, you got entitled parents that have these kids, and then they dump them on the grandparents. Adriana spends most of her time at her boyfriend Matt's house, neglecting her parenting duties according to her mother and her stepdad. But Matt's mom, Glennis, says Susie needs to stop blaming her son for her family's problems. Now, Glennis, thank you for being here. You're saying that you inherited these problems, you didn't create them.
Absolutely.
And what do you mean by that?
What I mean is that whatever dynamics they had going on ahead of time, which causes them to speak to each other the way that they do, was present before they started dating.
No, it was not.
Never.
And I
never,
asked you, Glennis,
never.
a year and a half ago when my daughter just welcomely moved into your home to please kick her out. What
I
was
did.
Your, no, you didn't.
Yes,
no,
I
you
did
not,
She
Glennis.
didn't
She's still
leave.
living there
She's
now?
still living here, and you told
I know
me
that.
she's 18.
Because
That she's
what
18.
is her?
She can make those decisions. I said, this is your
Let her
house.
stay on the streets when you guys won't let her move back to the house.
I'm not
What,
going to let
just her
someone live in
sleep
my
the
house
car?
that wants to kick the crap out of me.
Yeah,
Matt.
okay, yeah, we
Okay,
kicked her out.
When you come,
Because you come
yeah,
at her
when
the
you
same
come at my
way.
boyfriend,
You come at
with
me
you
that
swinging
way.
your
and then
hands. What do you
don't
think?
go to hit him.
Really?
You are.
did
That's a
come-
lie. That's a
okay.
straight up lie.
Yeah,
You have come
you
at me
have
like
came
that.
at
Dr. Phil,
him.
this is
you
getting
have.
And
out
of course,
there.
I'm gonna
You know,
get
this-
in
Come at
between
me
that.
like that.
I'm
All
not
I know is I
gonna.
asked you to kick my daughter out. You chose
we
not
did.
to.
And she did
That's
tell
not-
me to go
Glennis,
home. She did.
All right,
What
hold on.
happened, Susie.
Glennis?
You weren't in my house. You weren't a part
She's
of the
still living in your
conversation.
house, Glennis.
That's true. That
Glennis?
is true.
Okay.
But now I have a text message from you telling me that you kicked her out. What am I supposed to do?
And she knows why I
When
kicked
you
her out.
text
I've asked
her,
her to move
blowing
home
her up.
time and
Glennis?
time again.
Okay.
Glennis,
Sorry, doctor.
do you want her living in your home?
No.
And why not?
Because I feel like as if Matthew can move forward and do the things he needs to do if he's not distracted with this relationship. I also feel like Adriana will be able to do the same thing if she's not distracted with this relationship.
Are you aware she pops in your house in the middle of the night at 1 a.m?
I live in
Since she
Okay,
lives there.
hold on a minute. Hang on a minute. You just said, Dr. Phil, this isn't getting us anywhere. So I got it under control and started asking some questions,
You're
and then
right.
you interrupted me and started
Excuse me.
chaos.
Sorry, Dr.
So zip it. Just hang on a second. You don't want her there.
No. I think that she needs to move back home and be a parent to her daughter. I feel like whatever is going on, I would love to see the relationship get healed because I think that it's unhealthy as it is right now. I don't know who started. I don't know when it started, Susie, and I'm sorry if I assumed that it was pre-existing. It just seems that way to me because it seems like it's been prevalent from the moment that they started dating. It was there.
That's because
so
it's
I
exactly
assume.
right.
But that has nothing. That doesn't have to do with us.
No, it doesn't because she chose to use heroin, but he
Yes.
hasn't helped the situation.
But he hasn't prevented it. He stood up and said she needs to go home and she needs to be a part of this. Now, your daughter's an adult and has made choices, and that was part of the conversation that you and I had.
Right.
But Dr. Phil, to get back to what we were saying, I think that they both need to go forward and do things, and they're distracted with each other. And I think also that the dynamics that she has with her mom when they when they don't get along is part of it takes place between them when they don't get along, and it's not healthy. The way you two get a fight is the way they disagree and fight. And I've said it over and over again to her that that there has to be something better. You have to learn how to communicate. You have to learn how to do these things. And I am over having this in my home. As you want peace, so do I.
Fair enough, yeah.
I think the chance of these two being in each other's life long term is about zero. I mean, it's not Mr. Right, he's just Mr. Right now. It seems to me that you three adults want to get up on your hind legs and start barking at each other, but if you listen for just even a minute, the three of y'all want the same things.
Yes.
And you may be a little territorial about your own child and who started what with which with when, but frankly, Scarlett, I don't give a damn. I'm just interested in what happens going forward for this 4-year-old. Despite what y'all may think, I do not believe that this young man is irredeemable. I think with some guidance and some focus, he can get some traction in his life and he can move forward. I think the chance of these two being in each other's life long term is somewhere around 0, just because at the age they are and the circumstances they are in, the chance that just happens to be their lifelong soulmate statistically is about 0. I mean, come on, they're kids. They have a lot going on in their life. He's not Mr. Right. He's just Mr. Right now, and she's just here. They're too young to be making those choices, so it's not going to happen. But what is happening right now is some really bad exposures to this 4-year-old in a lot of different ways. Adriana says her mom doesn't know the extent of her recovery process from heroin, for example. Take a look at this. You need to see this.
My mom does not know I'm using methadone. She knows I'm getting counseling from the clinic. She comes with us to our counseling sessions sometimes. I basically lied to my mom to get her off of my back.
Okay, so are both of y'all...
Yeah, both of us are in the methadone-assisted treatment program, yeah.
And you're smoking marijuana?
Yeah, marijuana. Yeah, well, I have my medical card, yes.
Well, having a card in your pocket doesn't change what it does to your brain. What's the clinic think about you bringing that 4-year-old in there?
They have
an area for
kids.
with a TV and a couch and everything like that. And they have counseling and they have counselors, a security guard there and everything. It's a really nice place. It works for me, honestly. I haven't used, I don't think about using, and it works for me.
It may work for some people, it may not.
Yeah,
and
a lot of people it doesn't work for.
Hey, we've been clean for almost a year.
Yeah.
It's worked for us, okay?
And I don't think about using, and and it helps. It works for me.
It may not work for some people.
It's assisted with counseling, so the counselors really try, and they really are helping us.
As for my mom feels like it's just another drug.
There's something else that Adriana and Matt claim is out of reach at Matt's house. I'm not so sure that it is, but we're going to talk about that and what needs to happen on both sides of this equation when we come back.
I do smoke weed. We have our pipes and everything up high. My parents would not be happy about this at all. I do smoke weed. I have a medical marijuana card. My parents would not be happy about this at all. I know how it relaxes me. I know that it helps me. We don't smoke around my daughter. Have our pipes and everything up high or in the garage so she can't reach or is anywhere near it. I do not consider marijuana as a drug. My mother disagrees.
Look, what do you want to see happen here? What do you guys want to see happen here?
I'd like my daughter to be drug-free. I didn't know if she was bipolar or still using drugs. As a parent, she's still using drugs. I would like her to step up and be a mom.
The only way I think that this can happen is if she moves back in and is a mother to her child. But I do not believe that she can do that in this relationship on methadone and pot.
And what do you want to see happen?
I want to see my relationship fixed with my mom, obviously. I don't know how to fix my relationship with my mom. I just don't know how to act. Really, I don't know how when I freak out to calm myself. I want to tell them like I'm trying and they just don't feel like I am trying. But I am. I really am trying.
This is not an Adriana problem. this is a family dynamic problem. Parenting is not an easy job. It involves a lot of sacrifice. It involves a whole lot of saying no to yourself and yes to your child. It involves a whole lot of having to get into a rhythm and a routine and finding your joy and pleasure in watching this child blossom and grow and seeing all of those things that will be gone in a flash. And you're missing too much of that.
What I don't understand is I'm with my daughter Monday through Friday from 11, when she gets out of school, till when I bring her home, when it's time to go to almost to bed. And what I don't understand is how much more time can I really get on the weekends? What more can I do?
You can take care of your child. If she wants to continue to be entitled and defiant, then you have to have an absolute 100% no contact. It's just that simple.
How do you do that, though, when you have a child?
You're either going to do what you have to do to get this turned around, or you're not. She attacked you on Easter. She attacked you on Christmas.
It's not like I'm the only one who attacks her. She comes at me too. She slaps me across the face. She pulls my hair.
And that's not going to happen to you
I'm
anymore.
not the only one who starts these fights.
That's right, and that's not going to happen
and
anymore.
she thinks I'm the only one who punches her.
But that's not going to happen anymore. It won't happen anymore if you're not in contact. And you have to be willing to make that commitment, because you have to understand that you are the one responsible for this child, and anything that anybody else does is a gift. It's a gift. It's not a requirement. It's a gift.
It's delightful, but it's a total train wreck.
It's obvious.
She has responsibilities here to redefine this relationship just as you do. And what I would prefer to do is to bring in some professionals and broker a whole new piece, a whole new communication pattern, a whole new plan with her living in the house, where there are rules that are followed on both sides, and we work out something that everybody follows. And but I can't even get halfway through it, but she's telling me, well, you just understand. You know, if you're not mature enough to say, I recognize I need to modify my behavior and conduct myself as an adult, then it needs to be zero contact, because you teach people how to treat you and it will not work. Now, I can either broker a piece and bring in professionals to set this up and monitor this situation, because everybody comes at it with maturity, or my advice is you need to stop this, you need to change your locks, change your phone number, throw your cell phones away, and you need to stop contact and let her make it on her own. And that is a harsh approach, but it's the only way you're going to ever get this entitled, abusive expectation out of her head in your life.
I don't know how to talk to my mom, obviously. I already told you.
But as soon as I say, you say, well, what else am I supposed to do? I do everything until it's time for her to go to bed. What do you expect me to do? I expect you to be responsible for your daughter. It is not their responsibility. They are willing to provide a roof and keep you warm with some food. The child is your responsibility.
Clearly.
And anything beyond that is a gift. So if you're willing to give it a try, I will bring in the stormtroopers and do it. But if not, you've got to be willing to shut this down.
I'm definitely willing to try. I mean, that's why I'm here. That's why I reached out, because we can't continue to live this way any longer.
Okay, then we'll do that and see what happens.
Thank you.
All right, I want to thank all of my guests today. If you're caught in a family drama and you want my advice, you can go to drphil.com. It's there.